Welcome to the greatest podcast in sports betting entertainment. My name is Tanner Kern, certified G, bona fide stud, and you can't teach that. In this right here, this is G Money Grant Mitchell. We're here talking a little NFL. We're here talking a little WNBA. And you can't teach that. Bada boom, man, the people in the room. G Money Grant Mitchell. How you doing?
I'm doing good, Tanner. Hey, question to start off the show. When did we become the WNBA podcast?
Well, there's nothing else to talk about, and the league, or the W as they call it, has a lot of drama every week. Like, the W is not ready for the press that it's getting because we got Kelsey Plum refusing to sign autographs. I saw a skit last week. It was like reenacting the Kelsey Plum autograph thing. And she goes up, like whoever the guy is who's playing her walks up to somebody and they're like, can I have an autograph? He goes, fuck you. How dare you ask me for an autograph? It was funny. It was really funny.
You know, so this is the thing with that whole autograph situation, which I believe happened outside of a team hotel or something like that. Like, there's a good chance they were probably asking for the autograph just to make money off of it. But kind of to the comparisons between the NBA and the
take that back. How much money can you really make off a Kelsey Plum autograph card? I agree with you. They were scalpers. But like, I'm going to look for a Kelsey Plum autograph card right now.
Well, I'm just saying if the sole purpose of this is like, I'm showing up at your team hotel so that I can try to make money, not because I'm a fan, not because I have a kid who wants your autograph. Like, I get being frustrated with that. Sure. But just kind of to the things that we keep saying it. And I don't want to continue to beat a dead horse, but if you want to grow in the way that you say you want to, things like online harassment, things like people showing up at your team hotel begging for you to sign stuff, it's going to happen. It's just kind of a part of it.
It's crazy what cards go for. Now, most of the Kelsey Plum cards are like $50 autograph, but there's one at PSA 10 of her rookie card, which is going for $2,500, which is pretty crazy.
PSA 10 is the top grade you can achieve.
I'm not a card guy. I want to become a card guy really bad. I just don't know anything about it, and I don't think I would sell them if I got them.
Well, yeah, you basically never sell them unless you look at them as investment items and you hold on to them for 10, 20 years and move them on. Yeah, my time to be a card guy is definitely past, but I tell you what, I used to collect cards as a kid. I used to rip them out of Sports Illustrated, which I know doesn't make it a great quality card, but I also used to buy cards. I used to get like the Topps packs at stores and stuff like that. And I had a binder organized by sport, and then within that organized by a team, and within that organized by alphabetical order. And I would guess I had at least 5,000 cards. I mean, this thing was massive, and I have no clue where it is. So I don't feel like starting from zero. I think my card time is over.
It's just crazy, though, where we've gone with collectibles. Like, we were NFTs. Now we're back to cards. Like, cards used to be more of a kid thing. I feel like now it's like an adult thing. Same thing with Legos. Legos are like for adults now.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I actually started building a Lego the other night, and I couldn't do it. Yeah.
You could. What did you try to build?
An F1 car.
I mean, I could see that being difficult. That's the thing with these Legos too. Legos, I think, are for kids, but when you build these actual huge models, like, they're real engineering products. It's not like you're building a castle with the slingshot on it or a catapult. Now you're building an F1 car. But now you're building the Death Star.
I went to the Lego store in New York, and they had like Nike shoes. They had football helmets. They had F1 cars. Like, they have a lot of stuff that's just not for kids. I remember Legos were just like grab and build. Like, I don't remember following instructions. I was just building shit.
Yeah, I was the same way. And I think Lincoln Logs, maybe they're the kid thing now.
Lincoln Logs. Yep. I do remember Lincoln Logs. But anyways, Grant, we got to talk about WSN, the World Sports Network, the greatest sports network.
The real W.
X, the real W. No, the real, as much as I love WSN.com, the real W is what happens on the hardwood with the ladies. But WSN.com. Tell the people why they should check out WSN.com, Grant.
Yeah, well, look, we are really getting into football season now. All 32 teams have reported to training camp. We are just about 1 week away from the first preseason game of the NFL season. So that alone is cause for celebration. We're less than 1 month away from week 0 in college football. Obviously, the MLB is going on. NBA is going to be back in session pretty soon. So with all of that happening, if you go check out WSN.com, you're going to get access to a team of experts from all around the world, from every different sport under the sun. So if you are in need of betting picks, You want to look at some futures odds. If you want to get promo codes for sports books for things such as bonus bets and profit boosts, it is all right there waiting for you at WSN.com.
The NFL content's going to start heating up on the website, so make sure you guys check it out. Also, subscribe to Ride the Line, the greatest podcast you're ever going to find. This is where, if you like the W, I'm kidding, can't even say it was trivia. If you like sports, come here. If you like the W, come here. If you like the NFL, come here. College football, same thing. We talk about it all here. We don't discriminate. We talk about every sport there is.
Also, hit the like button. Helps us out. Helps us get in the algorithms.
Helps the algorithm. Anyways, we got a lot to talk about today, Grant. Let's start with W talk, because that's kind of been the theme of the show lately. So this is called Inside the W, sponsored by FanDuel. What's FanDuel's promo right now, Grant?
I believe it's either 150 or 200 if you bet $5. Let me just see right here, because I should know this off the top of my head. Yeah, you bet $5, you win that, you get $150 in bonus bets.
All right, so it's ad read time. So this is Inside the W, presented by FanDuel Sportsbook. FanDuel Sportsbook, get $5 or get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins when you bet $5. This week in the WNBA, Sophie Cunningham got fined $500. Like,
yeah.
What? I called up my dad and I was like, did you see this? And he was like, well, I guess it's the principle of it and they don't make a lot. And I'm like, $500 fine? Are you kidding me? Like, what? That's a phone bill for a family of 5. That's what we're fining Sophie Cunningham. It's not even worth doing it. Like, if you're gonna slap her on the wrist, just like send her a written letter or something.
So I wanted to look up what the percentage of her contract that was worth, because I'm just thinking, I think $50,000 is about a normal fine for the NBA. The fine doesn't usually matter depending on the contract, but in the NBA, you got guys making $50 million a year. So Sophie Cunningham's making $100,000 this year. That $500 fine is 0.5% of her salary. A $50,000 fine for somebody making $50 million is a 0.1% fraction of their salary. So it's somewhat equivalent. I mean, yeah, it stands out because we're used to looking at $25,000 fines, $50,000 fines, but from a percentage basis, that's kind of what it should be.
But don't you think people sit in the front? And I feel like a lot of times with higher ups in companies, they don't think about like the repercussions of the decisions. Like you fining Sophie Cunningham, who everybody knows, like everyone loves Sophie Cunningham, obviously. You finding her $500, like just optically it makes you guys look like a joke.
Well, okay. She deserved to be fined. Let's get that clear.
TikTok?
Yeah, she made a TikTok saying she was singing along to one of those voiceovers, and the caption was essentially me to WNBA refs, or me with WNBA refs. And the voiceover was like dumb, stupid, slow, and it's criticizing the referees. People get fined for that all the time.
$500.
From a percentage basis, it adds up, Tanner. It's math.
How many? I went to the chocolate store last week and I spent $50.
So what does that have to do with anything?
I could buy 10 chocolate bars. Dubai. You ever had Dubai chocolate?
Dubai chocolate? No, I haven't.
Really good, really expensive.
Is that the name of the store?
No, it's like Lauterbach is the chocolate store, but they have Dubai chocolate, and I could have got 10 packs of that chocolate for what Sophie Cunningham got fined. So that when I put it in that perspective, it makes it seem a little more real to me. Anyways, what else happened in W? Anything? I think that was it.
I saw literally as we started, or right before we started recording, the Chicago Sky are 1-7 without Angel Reese, for whatever that means.
He hasn't been playing.
I don't know if she hasn't been playing recently. I think it might have just been she missed their last game.
Does she still have that double streak going?
Well, why don't we find out?
She's out against the double streak. I think it's
still. She had six. No, the double streak's going.
Wow. Okay. So she's almost to breaking the record, but she's
got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 straight doubles.
Shout out Angel Reese. Give her a round of applause.
Yeah, I mean, if they're 1-7 without her and they're 7-17, They're 6-10 with her. I mean, that's a lot better than 1-7.
They're trash with her, and they're really trash without her.
Yeah,
That's why that's kind of like the Justin Fields. Good segue into football here. Like the Justin
what a
Fields injury,
segue.
everyone's like, "Oh my god!" And obviously, you don't want to see anybody tear their Achilles tendon or tear their ACL. But everyone, like Jets fans yesterday, are acting like this is the end of the world. Like, you guys are gonna suck with Justin Fields. You're gonna suck without Justin Fields. You actually may be better without Justin Fields. Like, if I was a Jets fan, I would rather have Kirk Cousins if they were to make that move than Justin Fields. Personally, that's just me. I think Justin Fields is a really good second option. I think he's a hell of a second option. I think he's a good running quarterback. I think you can bring him in for some packages, use him in different ways. But I don't think they're going to be good no matter what.
Well, don't forget, they actually might have the best second option in the league who just literally nobody will ever give him the time of day. Tyrod Taylor.
Come on.
Tyrod Taylor's last years as starting quarterback, he made the playoffs 2-3 years in a row, had good years with the Bills, and then nobody's let him play ever since then.
Yeah, but the Bills is like a good franchise. Like,
that was right at the start of it. I think Tyrod's last year might have been McDermott's first.
Grant, Tyrod Taylor is 35 years old.
Yeah, he's old. But look at, so his first 4 years he's with the Ravens, doesn't get to play. Next 3 years he's 20 touchdowns, 17 touchdowns, 14 touchdowns. Numbers are more inflated than they were back then, but only 6 picks, 4 picks. So good years. And then he just hasn't been able to play since. He's backing up Baker in Cleveland. He's supposed to be the starter in LA, and the team doctor pierces his lung. That's how Justin Herbert gets to start, and then he's basically never played since.
Yeah, but Justin Herbert, like, that switch would have happened within 4 games. Like, the Herbert crowd is, people love Justin Herbert, and I don't necessarily know why. The system, he's physically he's a freak, but I think the system he is in under Harbaugh right now is not very good for his style of quarterback play. Anyways, Tyrod Taylor, Grant. You look at Tyrod. A lot of people last year said the Jets were going to go over their insane win total of whatever it was.
Tyrod or Justin Fields, you mean?
No, Tyrod. I'm going with Tyrod.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of people, this is what I'm basically rebuttaling what you said, okay? Because they got like a good backup. A lot of people last year were like, Tyrod Taylor, like, if Aaron Rodgers goes down this year, we got Tyrod Taylor. Our defense is going to carry us to the promised land. The Jets were still terrible. Like, this is just a bad franchise. I think Aaron Glenn makes a difference for him, but he's never been a head coach, I don't think. So it's going to be a little hard.
He might have been an interim at one point, but yeah, he's never been a full head coach.
He played for them too. I think that also helps. But it's just, there's some franchises like this Jets franchise, like, outside of a few seasons, they've been really, really bad in the modern era.
Well, I think that's why people were so devastated by the news about Justin Fields because, yeah, we know now it's a dislocated toe. It's not the big toe either, which is the most important toe, which is a funny thing to say out loud. He'll be fine. He's day to day. But when the reports were just that Justin Fields went down at practice, some people were saying it was the first play and he's been carted off. Yeah, I don't think the Jets fans thought they were going to make the Super Bowl. I don't even really know if they thought they were going to make the playoffs, but it would have just been, they had no hope for so long. Aaron Rodgers gave them hope. He tears his Achilles on the 4th play. Now we're moving on to the new guy and he goes down. It's not even a sense that they were looking at it like they could be good. It's just, this franchise is cursed. When will anything good ever happen to us? And as someone who's a Commanders fan, I can sympathize with that. I finally got my moment when Dan Snyder sold the team, but it took 25 years of my life to get there.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy what happened this week on Twitter, honestly. You got Ozzy Osbourne dying. Then you got Justin Fields going down. And then right after Justin Fields goes down, Hulk Hogan dies. Yeah. Twitter was erupting yesterday.
It's a bad 24 hours for the whites. Hulk Hogan and Ozzy Osbourne.
They were two impactful people.
White culture doesn't have many many pillars to begin with, and we lost 2 of them right there.
Ozzy Osbourne's British, though.
That makes him even more white.
No, because no, like Hulk, the Hulkster was the real American. Like, Ozzy was British. I wasn't. I didn't really grow up with Ozzy.
Well,
Obviously,
yeah, I mean, Ozzy was. You didn't grow up with Hulk. I guess you did grow up with Hulk.
you didn't. No, I didn't grow up with Hulk, but like I watched as a WWE fan as a kid. Like I would watch old Hulk Hogan highlights. Like my grandfather watched Hulk Hogan wrestle, so like it was a little different. But yeah, just a tough week for Twitter. I don't know the whites. Like Ozzy's British. Like we won the war. How old? He was old though, wasn't he? 1948.
He was 70. I want to say he was 78, and Hulk was 71.
Yeah, so 70.
Considering the way that those two lived their lives, for them to live that long, for both of them, that's like living to 140.
Gotta imagine a lot of steroids and a lot of drugs, and just a hard life too. Like
a lot of alcohol, a lot of cigarettes, just a lot of things that are not good for your body.
Yeah, so pretty impressive. So shout out to Ozzy Osbourne and Hulk Hogan, some of the best ever do it. But anyways, yeah, put a bow on the Jets. They're gonna suck. They're not gonna be good at football this year. I think the Patriots have a really good chance of not being good at football this year too, but I know the Jets are gonna be bad.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about both these teams when we did our division preview for the AFC East, and the Jets win total was 5.5, and we looked at it and we said based on their schedule, like they could still get to 6 or 7 wins. The Patriots was the team that everybody's betting the over, but we were like, maybe we go under there.
Well, that was kind of like the Jets last year. Everyone like this was the darling, like the Jets are back. Jets fans thought they were so back. People thought they were back. Bettors thought they were back. Same thing with the Bears. People thought the Bears were going to be good last year. No.
Well, they were before, it's so funny how things work because with 5 seconds left, they're beating the Commanders and they're on their way to 5-2. Instead, they fall to 4-3 and they don't win again until week 18.
Just crazy. It's crazy what happens in the course of a season. And Grant, I got another crazy stat for you. I want to pivot real quick. So I know you just brought up win totals. It jogged my mind a little bit. We're going to go to college football for about 5 minutes here. Okay. You down for that?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. I don't know if you saw this the other day, but Kent State's win total.
I texted my friends about this.
Now it's -195 to the over. It's -195 to the over. But 2+ wins for Kent State. Their win total is set at 1.5 for -195. And they play like Maine. They play Maine, I think. Last year, Kent State went 0-12 last year. Okay. So and they played a school called St. Francis of Pennsylvania, who's an NEC 1AA school, and they got beat 23-17. But they also played at Tennessee. They played at Penn State. When you start at Pittsburgh, then you lose to a 1AA school. You go at Tennessee, at Penn State. Both were top 10 teams at the time. Your season's done. Like, how do you recover from that? So I hope their scheduling was a little better this year. Did they fire their coach? That's the thing.
Well, you know what's funny? I think Kent State might have had a stroke of genius here because they might be so bad that all the teams that want to get to the college football playoff schedule them knowing that they have nothing to worry about. That's a guaranteed win on our resume. And so they're just raking in the money from these big schools to go lose football games.
But so this is interesting. And I don't know a lot about the Kent State Golden Flashes, but Mark Carney joined Kent State in January 23 as the tight ends coach. Okay. This is the interim head coach right now. He was elevated to offensive coordinator before 2024. Obviously his offense didn't score a lot, and was named interim head coach in April of 25. So why? I don't like that because your whole staff is still in place.
Maybe it's a money laundering scheme.
No, I don't know. Let me see. Kent State football.
You want me to read you their schedule?
Well, I want to look up. I got to look up the coaches I got to get in the right mindset here. Okay. Kent State football coaches. Kenny Burns was the head coach from 2003 to 2004, and he's obviously gone now. He went 1-23 as a head coach. So he won 1 game at Kent State over the past 2 seasons. Wow. Okay. So now they got a new guy in there. So maybe he was the problem. All right. So let's read the schedule.
All right. So they start off with Merrimack. It doesn't get much easier than that, but I would assume they're still underdogs.
Merrimack used to be a Division II school about 3. I think Merrimack just moved up like 2 years ago. So let me see this. Merrimack football Division II to Division Merrimack. Okay, so Division II initially joined the NEC, so they moved up from D2 in 2019.
I wonder if I can get some Merrimack versus Kent State odds.
Northeast Conference. I bet they won't have those till
Yeah, they don't have them
till probably that week. Okay, so they're going to beat Merrimack.
Kent State's on a 21 game losing streak.
They're going to beat Merrimack. Then you're gonna lose to. Yeah, keep reading. I got it in here too.
Okay, yeah. So then they go. They're at Texas Tech.
Loss.
Which, yeah, that's trouble. Buffalo.
Loss.
They're at Florida State.
I mean, you never know.
Then they're at Oklahoma, which is just brutal. This is what I'm saying though. There's no way you got Texas Tech, Florida State, and Oklahoma by chance. Those schools are paying you good money for a guaranteed win.
Yeah.
Then you get to the MAC here. So we got UMass.
Yep.
We got Toledo. We got Bowling Green, Ball State, Akron, Central Michigan, and Northern Illinois. The full MAC experience.
You're gonna beat Merrimack. 100% you're gonna beat Merrimack. But maybe last year they took all that NIL money and they've, brought it to the team this year a little bit.
I want to see their depth chart. The quarterback is Devin Cargman. Let me see. Was he their quarterback last year? Oh my gosh, Tanner. Search Devin Cargman and click on his ESPN page and just give him a little look over. Everyone listening to this, please go look at Devin Cargman's picture on ESPN.
Cargman.
Kargman.
Oh God. He looks like he should be playing women's sports. 6'3", 217 though. Shit.
He looks like an actor in a movie where it's not about football, but there's a football game in the background.
Can he run? He can't run at all.
Last year he went 45 of 82 for 432 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks, 11 carries for negative 31 yards.
This is making me want to start a dynasty with Kent State. I want college football 26. I'm going to sim the college football 26 season today for Kent State and then bet this. Over a 2-win. If you go 0-12 and you can't win 2 games next year and you play in the MAC, I'm sorry. And a lot of crazy things can happen on a Tuesday and a Wednesday night in November when the MAC gets going. So if they don't beat Merrimack, the win total's done. They have to beat Merrimack, but I believe they can win 2 games this season.
So in college football, there are only 2 schools with a prestige rating of less than 1 star. It's a half star, and it's Akron and it's Kent State.
Interesting. So that's basically, how many recruits you must lose if you go 8-4 your first season for Kent State as a coach. You must lose 70 recruits the way that game is.
So I tried to find the rating of their quarterback, and according to College Football, a freshman named Devin Shields is their quarterback, but I don't see him on their depth chart, and the game doesn't have what's his name, Devin Cargman in it, so I don't know what's going on there.
We'll find out, but I would blindly bet any team to win 2 games, and you could do a teams to win 2 game parlay. Stanford is minus 480 to win 2+ games. Are they that bad too?
Maybe you just go full, bet the under, do Akron and Kent State 2+ wins.
You're telling me Stanford's not going to win 2 games? They're minus 480. I mean, they got a pretty tough schedule.
They do have a tough schedule.
You got to beat Hawaii. You got to win at Hawaii. You got to beat BC potentially.
Got to beat San Jose State.
Got to beat San Jose State, and then the rest of
California is going to have a down year.
Yeah, so you got 4 chances to win 2 games for minus 480 there. So, anyways, Grant, we'll pivot back to NFL, but I thought that was interesting. I saw that on Twitter yesterday.
Yeah, I sent that to my boys. I was laughing pretty hard because it's demoralizing. I hope nobody on the team saw that. Well, I don't know. I don't know what their mindset is. Maybe they're looking at that, maybe that's motivation for them. I would think they would be embarrassed, but maybe they're like, no, we can win 2 games this year. We can do this.
Why can't Kent State go to a bowl game this year? Why
It
can't
is
they go
just
to
the
a bowl?
MAC. It's just the MAC.
It's just the MAC. Like, let's stop acting like the MAC. Like, UConn beat the crap out of these MAC teams last year. Now, UConn's NIL budget was much bigger, but like people thought the MAC was going to beat up on UConn. UConn dominated. UConn beat Buffalo last year 52-3, I think it was, or 52-7. Like, come on.
I think we might have talked about that game on here because I know you were betting on like every UConn game.
Yeah, well, I took the win total. 4.5 was disrespectful. So like that could be the case this year. Maybe this team is back. The Kent State. And I'll tell you what, if the head coach was fired and the staff was retained, that means it's a family atmosphere. That means they brought in an outsider from 23 to 24. They didn't like him. So he was in the family. He's got to go. These guys are going to rally. Kent State's going to a bowl game this year.
Well, I'm going to keep my eyes on Devin Cargman. I want to see what he does.
Big game against Merrimack.
Huge game. And you know what, Taylor? You win the first game of the season. It's all about setting the tone, sending a message to the locker room. What are we here to do this season? If you end a 21-game losing streak in week 1, this could be a bold team.
If you could literally though bet this -195, put whatever you want on it. Like the bet comes down to Merrimack, then you can like hedge a little bit too. You know, you can hedge a little bit. There's going to be a time when these guys are like a 3-point dog in a game. Like you can't tell me they're going to be a double-digit underdog every single game.
What can you get for like 4+ wins? Plus 360.
4 is going to be hard
For them. If they make a bowl, they've got plus 1,700 odds of making a bowl game.
Yeah, but you know what, too? Bookmakers they have no clue. Like they have no clue. You're telling me that the dude in Vegas crunching numbers right now knows a lot about the Kent State Golden Flashes. They know their NIL budget. They knew it was playing. They have no clue. Like last year, UConn over 4.5 wins. I go back to this. They were going off the UConns of the past. They didn't realize UConn's NIL budget was 10x everybody they were playing because they played a cake schedule. They were just going off the old mindset. Now, like Kent State, if they got a little money, the slightest money in the world, you're telling me they can't beat Merrimack? If they can't beat Merrimack, they need to end their college football season. I wonder. I'm betting that over 1.5 wins. Come on.
I wonder if I can find out. Kent State has not publicly disclosed a specific dollar amount for their NIL budget.
Gotcha. But they probably have some after play at Penn. You play at Penn State and at Oklahoma last year. You got a little money.
I will say. So the Mid-American Conference, the MAC, has seen NIL collective funding vary among its schools. Some schools have reported as much as $350,000, which is not a large NIL budget, but it is the MAC. So I don't think you're expecting big money there.
And that's why UConn beat the shit out of these teams last year. But they were dogs in the games, but they dominated. So, anyways, Grant, it's NFL talk now, kind of NFL talk. Colin Cowherd said something about Arch Manning you want to talk about yesterday, Grant.
Yeah, so look, Colin Cowherd's just he's a funny guy. I respect to Colin. He's a legend. He makes an awful lot of mistakes on his shows. I think I don't quite know what to attribute it to. I don't know if it's a changing landscape in sports. I don't know if it's that we have more experts because everyone has a platform, but his analysis just seems totally off. A lot of the time he's talking about certain things. Other times, old man still got his fastball. Other times he nails it. So I'm interested to see how this ages. Is this going to be like when he told LeBron, we don't need you anymore, we have Ben Simmons? Or is this going to be very poignant analysis? So Colin Cowherd said the worst kept secret in the South is that the Cleveland Browns are going to draft Arch Manning next year and hire Nick Saban to be their coach. Sounds insane to me. They just drafted 2 quarterbacks in the same draft after they'd already traded for somebody and signed somebody. I don't know if they're going to turn it back over to Arch. First of all, they've probably got to have the first pick in the draft to even draft Arch. Browns are going to suck, but there are going to be some other teams that suck too. So will they have that? Is Nick Saban at 73 years old, however old he is he going to come out of retirement to go coach in the NFL knowing that he did not succeed in the NFL before? It sounds crazy to me, but I don't know. What do you think?
I don't think it sounds – the Browns are a poorly run franchise, so I don't want to, like, rule anything out with this team. Kevin Stefanski's a good head coach, number one. Like that, he is a hell of a head coach. if he were to be fired from the Cleveland Browns because it just didn't work out for him, he would get a job in a minute. Like, there would be no doubts. If he was out of football a year, maybe, but he's back. Like, he's a variable. He's going to get a job. So I don't want to rule it out. The fact that how they drafted this year showed how incompetent they were. I don't know if people were trying to send a message to Shedeur Sanders or what, but like going Dylan Gabriel, Shedeur Sanders in the same draft, kind of crazy, especially when your 5th round pick is going to be your starting quarterback long-term over Dylan Gabriel. If my thought too, if Shedeur Sanders plays a little bit and they want to go Arch Manning and they're going to be really bad, you play Shedeur, you trade Shedeur, and then Dylan Gabriel's your backup for Arch. So I think it's possible. I don't want to rule it out. I think Arch going there is more likely than Nick Saban being the head coach.
Well, I definitely agree with that, because if the Browns have the first pick, they'll probably draft Arch.
I think you have to. If Arch does what he's supposed to do this season, you have to.
So I'm looking at Tankathon, who I think does a great job of mock draft stuff. Not just with where the players go, but the actual predictions of like records and stuff. They have the Saints making the first pick in the draft, which I understand because the Saints are going to be absolute butt cheeks this year. They have them taking Arch Manning. They have the Browns getting the 2nd pick, and they have them taking Caleb Downs, which as of right now, probably also who I would take. I think that kid's insane. I think he might be the best player in college football. He just plays the safety, which is not a high value position. But yeah, I mean, they got them projected to take the 2nd pick. In the event that this is how it finishes, where the Saints have the first pick and the Browns are 2nd, the Browns could go to them theoretically and say like, hey, we'll trade you the 2nd pick and Shedeur, or like, if you like Tyler Shuck, we'll trade you the 2nd pick and future picks, whatever. And maybe you trade Shedeur to someone else for draft capital. You send that to the Saints to get Arch. It is definitely, there are multiple ways it could happen, even if they don't get the first pick.
Yeah, I just don't think Nick Saban's going to coach again. Like, especially in the NFL. Nick Saban's never been an NFL guy. Like, I know he was in the NFL, but like, he is a college football guy. I think in today's era of college football, it would be very tough for Nick Saban to survive in it. But he could definitely do it in the NFL. He probably works better in college. I don't know if his style is going to work in college anymore. Obviously, he was great, so it probably would work. But like NFL wise, like you can't coach the guys like you can coach them in college too. And it's a big adjustment, I think, going from where he was there to where he would be with the Cleveland Browns, especially for a Browns team that's going to be bad. And how many years does he really have left to coach? Like, he could still be coaching, but the runway is not very long.
I want to see how old is Pete Carroll. So Pete Carroll, Bill Belichick, and Nick Saban are all 73 years old. Saban did 1 year at Toledo in 1990. He went 9-2. After that, there's a gap in his resume as a head coach. What happened to him? Oh, he was the Browns defensive coordinator from 91 to 94, which makes sense, I guess, why there are the links to him being the Browns head coach. That was his first real job in the NFL. From 95 to 99, he's at Michigan State. From 2000 2004, he's at LSU. He goes 48-16 there. He goes to the NFL. First year there as the head coach of the Dolphins. He's 9-7, 2nd in the division. Then he goes 6-10, 4th in the division. Goes back to college at Alabama in 2007, and we know what happens from there.
I think he likes being on ESPN though. Like,
I do too. I think he didn't really enjoy it at first because it was so different to him. But I think now that he's able to relax a little bit, I think it's cool for him.
Yeah, I think he enjoys. I think he likes being around the young guys, and that whole crew's young. I think he likes being around Pat McAfee. Like, it seems like a good fit for him. I'm sure he would rather be coaching college football right now. But also, don't you think he left at the time when he was supposed to leave? Like, he knew that next team coming up was not going to be very good. And they would have been better under him. They would have been a playoff team under him. But I think he knew they weren't a national championship team. And he's like, I'm not.
And that's what a lot of coaches do. And also just the fact that it's not just that, it's that they were moving into a new era of NIL, which I think really that could be the argument that the NFL is better suited for Nick Saban now, is because he doesn't want to play the NIL game because, let's face it, he liked having the deck stacked in his favor. But in the NFL, there wouldn't be those games, there wouldn't be those hoops to jump through. So maybe if he does return to coaching, maybe the NFL does make more sense. I think that's where you could make that argument.
The biggest issue for Alabama last year was Jalen Milroe's decline. The decline was insane, and that was mainly because of Nick Saban leaving. If Nick Saban would have been there, I think with him, it would have been a totally different Jalen Milroe.
Well, and that's interesting too, because Saban's a great coach through and through. But if you had to pick offense or defense, he's a defensive guy. Kalen DeBoer is a quarterback genius. So it is a little strange that Jalen Milroe declined when he switched over. And maybe it was just, DeBoer's system didn't maximize the strengths of Milroe.
Yeah, I don't know. But Jalen Milroe is in the NFL right now, 3rd round draft pick. So Seahawks.
Was he 3rd or 4th?
3rd.
He might have been 3rd.
3rd, 92 overall. So right at the end of the 3rd round.
I wonder if he's going to play for the Seahawks. I feel like I'm still not convinced by 1 year of Sam Darnold with Justin Jefferson and Kevin O'Connell and TJ Hawkinson and Jordan Addison. And it could not have been a better situation for him. And again, as we've talked about numerous times, Kevin O'Connell has helped Josh Dobbs succeed. Kirk Cousins has succeeded there. I'm not saying that Sam Darnold's going to go back to being just complete trash with the Seahawks. He could be a fine, competent quarterback. But if it does turn out that he sucks, I wonder if we see Jalen Milroe play this year.
I'll take Drew Lock over Jalen Milroe right now.
Wow.
Right now. In an NFL game right now, I will take Drew Lock over Jalen Milroe.
I do feel like Drew Lock, when he was rapping put on back with the Broncos, I feel like he had 16 touchdowns, 15 interceptions that year. For a backup quarterback, that's what you want. Give me 1 touchdown per pick.
Drew Lock's got a job there. He ain't going to get cut, especially with they can have an extra quarterback this year, I believe, on the roster. Like, I think that's 52 plus
the emergency quarterback. Yep.
So you don't have to dedicate that to a practice squad player. So he'll be fine. But anyways, Grant, put a bow on this one here.
Yeah, let's move on to the final topic, which is, as we've talked about in some of these shows, NFL, this is published on ESPN, but different people went around asking NFL coaches, players, GMs, scouts, etc., different questions like who are your top 10 quarterbacks, et cetera, et cetera. They've now got a list of people in the NFL under pressure, not just players. They got some GMs and coaches as well. So Tanner and I wanted to run through them. We're going to skip a couple because like Braxton Jones, Tariq Woolen, yeah, they're under pressure, but doesn't make great podcast content. Number 1 on their list, though, and I think it's significant that it's number 1 because it's probably there for a reason. JJ McCarthy. Before we started recording, you said you were shocked to see him there.
You can't put JJ McCarthy as under the most pressure in the NFL right now to perform because he's the guy. They drafted him to be the guy. He's a rookie. He has not played yet. He's a rookie. I think last year's injury only helps him because he had a year to learn the system and learn how to be a pro and all that. But I do agree in the sense of a lot of people were not high on JJ McCarthy coming out of college, but I still don't think you can expect too much from a rookie quarterback. So I would disagree with that. I think this is a year to learn. I don't think the Vikings are going to be as good as everyone thinks they're going to be. I know they have a decent defense and they got a really good receiving core, and that's how they're going to play. But I just can't get behind JJ McCarthy right now. And I don't think he's under a ton of pressure because he is the quarterback of the future there.
Well, I definitely agree that he's the quarterback of the future. I think the pressure component makes sense in that Sam Darnold was a top 10, I'm going to assume, MVP finisher last year, and you could have retained him. He was a free agent. You could have held on to him, offered him a contract, but they said, no, we're pivoting to JJ McCarthy. So I think the difference is that he's under pressure, not in the sense that he's at risk of losing his job, but he's under pressure in that the Vikings did just go 14-3, and they turned the franchise over to you to make you the guy. And we've seen Kevin O'Connell succeed with basically everybody. So if you go out there and you suck, that's not a good sign for the future.
I probably would have kept Sam Darnold for 3 more years. I would have given that 3-year contract to him that the Seahawks gave him. And then in that final season, if you feel the need to go to JJ McCarthy, you can go to him. But I would have given him 3 more years. I think a year of JJ McCarthy in pads learning from Sam Darnold would have been very helpful. I would have done maybe 2 years with a team option for the 3rd, player team option for that 3rd year. just because he was so good last year. You have the system in place, you have the coach, like don't mess it up.
Yeah, I mean, you don't even need a team option. You can just say, like, when the time comes, hey, NFL, he's on the trade block, come get him.
Yeah.
Because teams will want him. As somebody always needs a starting quarterback.
Yep. Yeah. So I just don't think I would have. I don't think I would have done what they did. I think I would have kept him, but it is what it is.
Brees Hall also on this list. This one's a little interesting. I can understand it. He's going into, is this the final year of his rookie deal? So I get it from that perspective. He's been touted as this elite running back, yet he's never hit 1,000 yards in a season, never had more than 5 rushing touchdowns. Granted, he does give you a lot through the air, had nearly 600 receiving yards in his second year, had nearly 500 last year. So there's definitely talent and there's definitely consistency. This is probably more pressure of like, this is the contract year. Are you going to have that 1,300 yard season to make yourself one of the highest paid players?
So he was a second round pick, so he doesn't have that 50-year option on his contract. I still think he's going to be fine. Like he's going to get a big deal. He's played in 17 games, 16 games, so he hasn't been injured since the first season. The receiving yards are there. He plays for the Jets. Like you can only do so much when you play for the New York Jets. That's the bottom line here. If I'm a contender, I would take Brees Hall in a minute.
I would too. I definitely agree that he's not been helped by his situation. I mean, last year was so predictable. The Jets were going to run it, and if they couldn't run it, they were just going to check it down. That's all they were doing.
And Justin Fields gives him a better chance of succeeding because they can run read option. Defenses have to account for Fields' legs. They have to account for the passing game. They have to account for Brees Hall. Brees Hall, like you can do a lot of cool things with Brees Hall and Justin Fields in your backfield. So I'm not worried about Brees Hall. I think this is a little bit of a stretch here. He plays for the New York Jets.
Well, speaking of playing for a bad team, Bryce Young, the Carolina Panthers. I defended Bryce a little bit more than you. He did start to come good towards the end of last season. Now, that is relative to his standard. When I say start to come good, he was still probably playing like a average quarterback.
Money the last 3. I mean, he wasn't throwing for a lot, but he was very good those last few games.
Yeah, he looked more poised. He looked more in command. Completion percentage went up. Turnovers went down. In his final 3 games, he had 7 touchdowns, no picks. So final game of the year, overtime win at the Falcons, had a QBR of 94, 2 rushing touchdowns as well. So yeah, you finally saw the glimpse. If you didn't get that final 6 weeks or whatever it was, he might not be a Panther right now. They might have moved on, but that definitely bought him some time.
But honestly, too, when I think the shock factor was like, oh my God, the Carolina Panthers are playing with some of these teams. Like they lost by 3 to the Kansas City Chiefs. Bryce Young was 21-35, 263, 1 touchdown, no picks. Like against the Bucks, they lost in overtime. That was a game that the Panthers absolutely fumbled. Like there's no reason they should have lost that game. 26-23 win for the Bucks in overtime. 26-46, 1 touchdown, 298. Like those were some big games. Like pretty much it was like a 1 touchdown performance. He was right around 220 yards, and he was just not turning the ball over. So like in the moment, I think there was that shock factor.
They almost beat the Eagles too.
It still wasn't mind-blowing numbers though. You know, it was just playing clean football. Like Eagles game, 19-34, 191, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. You know,
with Ted McMillan there, maybe some stuff happens this year.
No, I think they're going to be good. Like that's a team that could win this division. Like do not count out the Carolina Panthers the way they played down the stretch last season.
Yeah, their win total, I want to say, is at 6.5. So that's at least indicative that they will be a competent team. If you're going 7-10, you're competent.
Yeah, the Buccaneers should still win the division. I think the Buccaneers are still leaps and bounds better than anybody in the NFC South. But if the Panthers do what they did towards the end of last season, and you're still asking for a lot with Bryce Young. The kid is 5'10", probably 5'9", but he's listed at 5'10". You have a smaller chance of succeeding in the NFL at 5'10" at the quarterback position than you do at 6'2". That's the problem.
And also, unlike Kyler Murray's freakishly fast. Bryce Young's not a terrific athlete.
Well, like Kyler Murray's not good either. Like
Kyler Murray's kind of like he's one of those players that a lot of people think isn't good, but a lot of the advanced stat nerds actually swear by him.
You can't win a Super Bowl with Kyler Murray.
No, you can't.
So, and that's the thing. I look at this with like, I know there's money involved. And I know there's all this like, I think Kyler Murray was a
He was first
first pick
overall.
overall, right? Like, you can't win a Super Bowl with Kyler Murray. And I look at it with racing. Like, teams put out cars every week in racing that have with drivers that have no chance of winning. They have pit crews with no chance of winning. You can't win a Super Bowl with Kyler Murray. So if you can't win a Super Bowl with Kyler Murray, he's not that good. Like, Baker Mayfield is right at the bottom of the list of quarterbacks that can win a Super Bowl. Like, right there. Anything under that, you can't win a Super Bowl.
Agreed.
So,
speaking of can't win a Super Bowl, Brian Daboll, coach of the New York Giants, he made the list here. I think this absolutely makes sense. Whether it was his decision, whether it was Joe Sheen, whoever was the driving force behind paying Daniel Jones $40 million a year, kind of sealed their fate almost. Now Daboll can reclaim his spot. The Giants are gonna have to win probably like 7, 8, 9 games for him to stick around. Even then, it might not be enough. They're clutching at straws. They bring in Russell Wilson probably to try to save their job. If they start poorly, they're going to make the switch to Jackson Dart. And their start to the year, they go at Commanders, at Cowboys, Chiefs, Chargers, at Saints might be the one game. Eagles, at Broncos, at Eagles, 49ers. They could be 0-8, 0-9 to start the year, and he's getting fired midseason.
I think you should have just gone right to Jackson Dart. Like, I don't think we need to worry. I don't think they should have to worry about going to Russell Wilson. Like, it should be Jackson Dart's team, because you're not going to win a Super Bowl with Russell Wilson. So in the end of the day, you're not going to win the division with Russell Wilson. You're probably not going to make the playoffs with him. Just go to Jackson Dart and try to prepare for the future. And I think because of that, they should have gotten rid of Daboll, but Daboll should have to show, if I'm the front office, it should be, hey, this is Jackson Dart's team. And if I'm Daboll, I need to show that I can make strides with Jackson Dart over the course of the season to keep my job. Playing Russell Wilson and winning 6, 7 games this year does nothing.
No, I mean, it's the NFL equivalent of like a C or a C minus. 6, 7 wins with Russell Wilson. It's just so unimpressive. It's just the bare minimum.
We're delaying the inevitable. Russell Wilson's not your quarterback of the future. You're not going to win a Super Bowl with him. Move on. And for Brian Daboll, the test for him, does Jackson Dart get significantly better over the course of the season? We're going to stick with Daboll all year. He's going to be our guy. But do they get better over the course of the season? That's what the test should have been. And he is under pressure no matter who's playing quarterback, though. So I like this.
Shedeur Sanders. This one's kind of a no-brainer. I think everybody and their mom knew that he was going to make this list. It seems to me like he's probably going to be the starting quarterback, even though they drafted him after Dylan Gabriel. Now, I recognize that I'm falling victim to camp footage and stuff like that, and camp stats are totally fake stats, but he does just seem to be generating the most buzz. He has the most talent of all their quarterbacks, and it would make sense for him to be the guy.
Oh, yeah. He should be the starter week 1. No other way to say it. I don't know if there's pressure. Like, he was a 5th round pick. Like, I think the chip's on his shoulder, and there's pressure because he's Deion's kid. But other than that, like, if he's a 5th round pick and he wasn't a Sanders, like, there wouldn't be a lot of pressure.
So this, just reading some of the ESPN blurb here. The last 5th round pick to become a long-term starter was Mark Brunell, who was drafted in 1993, and it took him 2 years on the bench and an expansion team to get an opportunity when he went down to Jacksonville, which is true. Now, Shedeur is not a typical 5th round pick. I think we all agree, but he was in conversations for being the first overall pick, and nobody really put him there. So now it's a matter of just, I guess, Shedeur proving himself correct, or proving his critics correct.
Yep, that's right. He does have a lot of pressure. I mean, he's had pressure on the whole time. It's Shane Gillis' joke at the ESPYs. So fun. Talking about
he's had pressure since you started playing football. Let's be honest. If you're Deion Sanders' kid, you got pressure.
Yeah. He's fine, though. I mean, he's a Sanders. He's good, but you got pressure.
Joey Bosa, maybe not the most interesting one in the world, but I do think this is true. I mean, Joey Bosa is a great player, but he's injured all the time. Production has decreased a little, moving over to Buffalo. Buffalo needed help. They needed size on the line. It kind of feels like they get pushed around on those critical 3rd and 2s in the playoffs, and that's why they keep losing. So I get it. It's not very interesting, but I think it's accurate.
Joey Bosa, 30 years old, got 9 years of experience, made $142 million. He's making $12 million this year. There's no pressure. No pressure.
Mike McDaniel, coach of the Dolphins. This one I fully agree with. Similar to Dable, you win 8 or 9 games. I'm not impressed. We've been at the same place / going backwards for how long? That first year, it was like, holy shit, Mike McDaniel's the best offensive coach the game of the NFL has ever seen. And there's been no positive momentum since then.
Yeah, they got to do something this year, and that division's really hard. Like, you got to finish second in that division and make a push for the playoffs. If the Patriots are better than the Dolphins this year, I think Mike McDaniel gets fired.
Anthony Richardson, also no surprise here. He's going into his 3rd year. They already brought in Daniel Jones. I'll be honest, the Colts don't have great weapons for him. You know, Tyler Warren, exciting rookie tight end from Penn State. We'll see what he does. But the receiving core is Michael Pittman Jr., Alec Pierce, Josh Downs. Offensive line still good, but getting older. Jonathan Taylor, still good, but I mean, he's only 26, but he has dealt with some injury stuff recently. So, like, I don't know. Yes, Anthony Richardson's under pressure, but I'm also not expecting anything of him. Yeah, I think he'll be off the Colts by the end of the year.
He may not even be your starting quarterback.
Yeah, I think there's a very good chance Daniel Jones will be.
Daniel Jones is a better quarterback than him.
Yeah.
And Daniel Jones may be better away from New York, too. Like, we need to factor that in.
Well, what we need to factor in as well is Shane Steichen. He's coaching the Colts, and he's coaching Anthony Richardson, so it's not looking like it. But Shane Steichen is an offensive guru. You know, he was there when the Eagles made the Super Bowl that first time around. His first year with the Colts, they did go 9-8, and it was that Week 18 game where if they win, they're in the playoffs, not the Texans. And Shane Steichen can do a lot of things with someone who can run and throw like Daniel Jones can. Even if Daniel Jones is more limited than other quarterbacks, Shane Steichen's a great coach. I'll stand by that.
Yeah. I just don't think Anthony Richardson's going to be the starting quarterback, so it's hard to be under pressure if you're not the guy.
Last one here, and I've been skipping the other coaches up until this point, but I think this one's worth noting. Kevin Patullo, I believe that's how you pronounce it, offensive coordinator of the Philadelphia Eagles. This one's interesting because, as the ESPN brief notes, if you're an OC with the Eagles, you're either getting hired as a head coach somewhere or you're getting fired. If you run down the list, 2 seasons with Doug Peterson, Frank Reich was the offensive coordinator. He gets the head coaching job with the Colts. Doug Peterson takes over as calling plays. He gets fired. Then he does get hired by the Jags again. Under Sirianni, see, you got Shane Steichen, who we were just talking about, get to the Super Bowl, get hired as the Colts head coach. Then you move to Brian Johnson, who gets fired after 1 season. Then you move to Kellen Moore, who gets hired as the head coach of the Saints this last offseason. Now it's Patullo. And Jalen Hurts is somebody who's dealt with turnover. I don't think he's ever had the same offensive coordinator for 2 years in a row in college or the pros, which is pretty crazy. But he's Patullo's the Eagles' 7th OC over the last 10 seasons. For the Philly offense, I didn't know this. They're spending more on their offense than any team in NFL history. And they did just win a Super Bowl. You got the Offensive Player of the Year. This should be a good offense. But if they take any sort of step back, you know who the scapegoat's going to be. It's going to be Patullo.
But we also forget, too, that the Eagles did not start good last year. Like, the Bucks just beat their ass. And like, they were in a bad spot. That's when I bet the Eagles, I think, 13 or 14 to 1 to win the Super Bowl. Like, they were not being discussed as a Super Bowl team early on. The offense had not necessarily clicked yet. The defense hadn't clicked. So I think it's going to take a little time. Don't get me wrong, but all the pieces are in play for a good offense here.
Yeah, you're right. Week 1, it's a Thursday or a Friday game in Brazil. They score 34 points on the Packers, but that's just weird. They have the 4th quarter comeback loss to the Falcons at home. They only scored 21 points there. They barely win on the road against the Saints, 15-12. That's the game where Saquon had the 60-yard touchdown. Dallas Goedert also wasn't marked and got like a 60-yard pass in the 4th quarter. And then they score 16 against the Bucks, 20 against the Browns. So the first 5 weeks of the season, the offense was really bad. And then they just completely flipped the switch.
Yeah. So like, then you were talking about, does AJ Brown hate Jalen Hurts? Like, we had all that drama. So it might start slow, but they have the pieces to pick it up.
They do. And the Eagles' schedule, they do. I mean, it starts off difficult. Home for the Cowboys, they'll win that. But then they're at Chiefs, home for the Rams, at Bucks, home for the Broncos. So those first 5 weeks compared to what they had last year, it's a lot tougher this time around.
I'll take the Rams in that game. A little revenge spot.
Yeah, I would take, even though I think do I think the Eagles are better than the Chiefs? I probably do, but because it's in Kansas City, I'll take the Chiefs. I'll take the Rams to win that. At Tampa Bay, I could see the Bucs winning that. And the Broncos is not going to be an easy game. Their defense is going to be awesome.
Chiefs will beat them next year in Kansas City. That's the revenge spot. They'll win.
Yeah, so I mean they could start anywhere from 4-1 to 1-4, I think is on the table.
Definitely. Anything else, Grant?
I think that's going to do it.
It's going to do it for another great episode of Ride the Line today. We were riding this morning.
We were riding. It's Friday, riding into the weekend. Bright and sunny out here. I'm excited to get out in the city, touch some grass.
Dodgers Red Sox tonight, Grant. Big game.
Are you going?
Yep, going tonight. So,
congrats. Who's on the mound?
Brian Bayo versus, I don't even know who's pitching for the Dodgers tonight. It's somebody who's not
Emmett
great.
Sheehan.
Emmett Sheehan, yeah, he's got a 4. This is our best. It's probably our second best chance of a game to win this weekend. And then we have Crochet versus Kershaw tomorrow night. We should win that with Crochet on the mound. Then Bueller versus Dustin May. Shit, why can't we sweep? Why can't we sweep?
Are the Sox still hot?
No.
Okay. They were the last time we talked.
No, they're not. They're 2-4 after the break. They're if the season ended today, they're in the playoffs though. So that's something to be proud of if you're a Boston Red Sox fan today.
And are they on pace to hit the over for the season?
They are on pace to go under by a game.
Okay. So you're right there.
Game or two. Yeah, they're not going to hit it. They're going to finish like 84, 85. I have 85.5. So they're going to finish about 84, I think. But you never know. It depends. I mean, hey, they're 32-20 at home. The Dodgers 25-22 on the road. Why can't the Red Sox win tonight?
Why not, Tanner? Why not tonight?
Well, Brian Bayo's not good, but that's probably the biggest reason they're not going to win. But anyways, we'll see.
Well, guys, that is going to do it for this episode of Ride the Line. Tanner and I appreciate you all joining us. Before you click out of here, make sure you hit the like button if you enjoyed. Hit the subscribe button so you never miss out on future episodes. Jump in the comment section. Whatever you think about anything we said, just put it down there. We respond to everybody. And most importantly, we will catch you all in the next episode of Ride the Line.